Hi there. In this video, I will demonstrate the new features that have just been added to version 1.2 of Enhanced Keyboard Shortcuts for Roll20. As always, we can press backslash to bring up the input bar, and we'll type H in order to access the help menu. So let's go ahead and scroll down and see what's new. We have this new L command, which can set lighting on any selected token. You can give it a bright radius and a dim radius, and it will apply both. You separate them with a slash. And the dim radius is optional. If you don't provide any arguments, then it will set the lighting to disabled. We also have a V set of commands for vision. VN will enable normal vision. VX will disable vision or blind a token. And VD, with a distance, will set dark vision. Then we have this other new command, which is S. Give it a name for a status icon, and it will toggle that icon. Very handy. And then we also have O. This is the most complicated one that I've set up yet. This takes a comma-separated list of key value pairs with an equal sign connecting them, and you can set a whole bunch of options for a token. Let's go ahead and run through all of these. This little scenario will function as a sort of test bed for the commands that we have. I've just dragged this goblin from the compendium out onto the battlefield, and I need to make a couple of changes here before we're ready for this fight to begin. First off, this token over here for this character isn't set up at all. If I press Ctrl L, you can see he doesn't even have vision turned on. So let's go ahead and fix that. This character is a dwarf, so let's start by giving him dark vision. So we'll say VD, and dwarves have 60 feet of dark vision. VD 60. Not much seems to have changed from this view, but if I toggle the dwarf's vision, you can see that you can see all over the place now. There's another subtler problem here, which is that the goblin also has vision. Now that's not really a problem, but it does unnecessarily slow things down. I know what the monsters can see. I don't need vision on them. So let's go ahead and disable that with VX. So now, no vision, and it's not getting calculated. That shows the vision commands. We could have used VN to set normal vision, but well, both these tokens have dark vision, so. Next, let's set up some lighting. Even though Daktan has, that's the dwarf's name, Daktan, even though he has dark vision, let's say he's got some buddies with him. In fact, let's go ahead and give him, how about Rancid Rob? Why not? Let's say Rancid Rob is with him. And let's go ahead and add that guy to the turn tracker, and we'll just say he rolled real bad. He got a 1. Sorry, Rob. Now, Rob needs vision too, so we'll use VN to give him normal vision. But Rob can't see. Luckily, Daktan is a cleric. He will cast light. So let's go ahead and give him a light source. And they can do that with L. And I think it's 25, 25, something like that. Close enough for this purpose. Now, still can't see. Let's go ahead and open this token and save it again. Sometimes Roll20 likes to get lagged out on my system. There we go. So now he can see the light from Daktan. Awesome. What's next? Well, we've got vision set up, and we've got lighting set up. Let's get into the complicated world of token settings. So some of you who've been using Roll20 for a while, possibly with a pro account, may be familiar with a script called token mod. Token mod lets you do pretty much all the same stuff, except it is dependent on the API for Roll20, which means that you need a pro account. But this does not require that. It's not as powerful, but it gets you most of the way there. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at those options again. We'll scroll down to O. And the example is b1a equals HP, b2a equals AC. Now what the heck is that? Well, the B commands are all for bars. That's what these are. These are bars. And this one in particular is the only one that's actually displayed like a bar. But you can set the other ones to display like bars using the settings, like the game settings. You open that. So within a bar, you can specify which bar you want to affect, like 1, 2, or 3. And then you can say which parameter. So each bar has a current value. B1C, for example, is the current value of bar 1. M is for the max value. A is for the linked attribute. And this will automatically update the character sheet and vice versa. V is whether it's visible to players. You use a Y or an N for yes or no to set that. E is whether it is editable by the player who controls the character that that token represents. And this is actually on by default, but I threw it in here just in case you want to turn it off for some reason. Then we have the bar location. A for above, B for below, OT for overlap top, and OB for overlap bottom. Personally, I like overlap bottom. Just keeps it tidier so that the bars are not overlapping anything other than the token that they're attached to. And then there's also the token bar style, so you can make it compact if you want. I usually just leave it standard. So let's try these bar settings. So our goblin here, the bar is above him. Like I said, I like to put that below. So let's do bar location equals overlap bottom. Okay. Any other things we want to set? Honestly, this token's pretty fine. So let's just go ahead and do that. And now you can see that the bar location is on the bottom. Now let's set up our actual character here. So this is going to require a lot more changes. Let's take a look at the options again to see what else we can do aside from control bars. We can control auras. So this would be useful for spell effects. For either aura 1 or 2, you can set the radius, shape, and whether it's visible or editable. There isn't yet a way to set the color of the aura. I just haven't figured out how to make that work well, but in the future I hope to add it. And then finally, in the miscellaneous section, we have things regarding the token name and the tooltip, which I've actually never used, so your mileage may vary on that one. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that the token name is going to be visible. And actually, we want to make sure that the bars are visible too, because this is a player character, so we want all the players to be able to see their health and armor class. At least that's how I like to set it up. So we're going to set NV to 1, or yes, rather. NP to display the nameplate, we're going to turn that on too. At least until the players all learn the characters' names. And NT can set the name text, in case you want it to be different from whatever it already is. We'll just leave that the default. So let's go ahead and set this guy up in one command. So first we want to set bar 1 attribute to HP. So this is going to link it to the HP stat on the character sheet. And then while we're on bar 1, let's make sure we make it visible. Yes. And that should be it for bar 1. Now for bar 2, we're going to link that to AC and make it visible. Oops. There you go. B2V equals Y. And what else? Bar location, overlap bottom. Don't forget to do that. We're going to set the name visibility to yes and turn on the nameplate. And I think that should be good. Don't think I'm missing anything. So let's go ahead and run that command. And there you go. Now the token has his hit points visible down here. 10 out of 10. 18 is the AC because he's wearing chainmail. Names down below here. And you can make that a macro in a Stream Deck or whatever, and one button, press it, and set up a token. Really, really handy. Now, as this little combat here goes on, And probably characters will take some damage. And eventually they're going to get to 0. Let's say that this guy here is now dead. So normally what I would do here is I'd press this button and then I'd click this X in order to mark him as dead. Well, this is where our final edition for this version comes in. Scroll down again. That's what S does. So you can give it the name of a status icon and it will toggle it on or off. To find out the name, you can just hover over it and you'll see it in the UI there. It's probably too small to read on the screen there, but that says red. This one says sleepy. This one over here says drink-me. And this one says dead. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on the dead one. Bring up the bar, hit S, and then type dead. There you go. The selected token is now dead. And if you run it again, it'll toggle it back off. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I hope you find this helpful. Please find the download link in the description, and if you have any suggestions for new features to add, don't forget to leave a comment. Thanks. Take care.